All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Up and Moving, which is a physical activity program for the Upper Peninsula. My name is Isaac Wiedig. I am a graduate student in the Kinesiology and Integrated Physiology Department at Michigan Tech. And our goal with Up and Moving is to help keep adults physically active, both during the pandemic here and beyond, by giving you virtual workouts that you can follow along with from home with ordinary items that you might have in your household. So today is our surprise Saturday workout, and probably to not too many people's surprise, I'm going to have us going through a strength workout today. So surprise, we're doing strength exercise with Isaac. So a few things that you may need for the workout. You can gather these. Of course, always grab a bottle of water to have on hand. Keep yourself hydrated. I am going to be using some cans of soup and also a gallon of water. And if you have 2 gallons of water, that's great. Laundry detergent can work good. But basically, we're looking for anything that you can use as sort of an improvised dumbbell. So something to add a little bit of weight to some of these movements that we're going to do. If you have dumbbells, that works great. And then last thing you may need is a chair, just for a little bit of stability. And there's also some variations of some of the exercises that we'll do on the chair as well. So make sure you've got those things gathered together. As I mentioned, we're going to be working through a few different muscle strengthening exercises, so we'll get to those eventually. Well, let's go ahead and start things off here with a little warm-up. We'll get our body and our joints moving here and get ready for the strengthening exercises. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start off just with some marching in place here. I'm going to be lifting those knees up, swinging the arms. Start to get that heart rate and body temp elevated here. And if you're joining us live, we're here on a Saturday morning. So a great way to kick off your weekend here. Get a little bit of physical activity in. Some muscle strengthening exercise nonetheless, make you feel strong going into the weekend here. Or just maybe really sore tomorrow morning. We'll see. All right, let's go ahead and we'll switch. I'm going to do a little side step here, going side to side, and then I'm going to bring my arms across my body and get an arm swing in. Start to get those shoulders moving here. Good. And I don't think we can call it a warm-up with me on Up and Moving if we don't do zombie kicks. So let's go into some zombie kicks here. So hands out in front and then kicking those toes up to your fingertips. You're trying to keep your knee straight. So we're getting a slight stretch in the back of that leg there. We'll just keep alternating legs. Good, nice work. Let's get a few more of these in here. Last one. Perfect. We're going to go into a little quad stretch now. So we're going to grab the ankle, reach the other hand for the sky, and then flip sides. So a little brief stretch on the front of that leg, and then switching. And you get to challenge your balance a little bit here too. Try not to fall over. Perfect. This one feels good. My legs are a little sore today. I think after this warm-up, though, I'll be feeling ready to go. Good. Let's go for a couple more. Last one. Good. Next movement here I'm going to go into a little bit of a lateral lunge. So we get my feet wider apart, and I'm going to lean towards one knee, keeping the opposite leg nice and straight. And I'm going to rock back to the other side and just kind of keep transferring my weight from one leg to the other. And we're going for a little stretch on the inside of that leg. And then we're starting to kind of wake up the quads and the knee on the side that we're leaning towards. And if you need to make this a little bit easier on your knees, you can just put those hands on your thighs or on your knee. Take a little bit of that weight. And as we loosen up here, you can try to get a little bit deeper into those lateral lunges. Good. Let's get a couple more. Last two here. Get a good deep stretch to each side. Perfect. All right, next movement. We're going to go into a hip hinge, reaching down for our feet or as far as we can go. You can see my back pretty nice and straight here. So I'm going to get a stretch in my hamstrings, and then I'm going to come up and extend my arms into a big Y, look at the ceiling, and then go back down and repeat. So push your hips back, keep your knees straight, reach for your toes as far as you can go, and then up to the ceiling. Good. This one always feels good. This is one of my favorite stretches here at the top. Good. Let's get two more in here. Good stretch on the way down. Nice big extension at the top. Last one. Perfect. Good. All right, next movement we're going to go into here. I'm going to go back into just some side stepping. And now I'm going to bring my arms into a forward circles here. So doing some arm circles. I like to keep my whole body moving though here during the warm up. And as those shoulders loosen up, we can make those circles a little bit bigger. Try to use as much range of motion as you've got in your shoulder here. Make as big a circles as you can. Nice big circles and a few more. Perfect. Let's shake them out. Keep going side to side here. And let's reverse that direction. We'll go backwards. Start small if you have to here. And as you loosen up, get into nice big circles. Good. Nice big circles. Perfect. We're almost there. Good. I'm going to go to a little jog in place here. We'll get our intensity up a little bit higher as we finish up our warm up. We'll try to push our heart rate a little bit higher. We'll take a water break after this. So jogging in place. If you have to, you can move around your room too. Sometimes it feels good to get somewhere. Do some circles, go forward and back. And let's kick the intensity up a little bit. So I want you to think about running a couple miles an hour faster here with your jog. Pump those arms a little faster. Perfect. Should be breathing a little bit harder. And let's bump it up one more notch before we wrap up the warm up here. So a couple more miles an hour faster. We're at the end of the race. Finish line is in sight. Good. And let's go for 10 more seconds here. Hang with me. Water break's coming. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that's time. Good job. Take a little break here. Grab a sip of water. All right. Whew. So we, after recovering here, can get into our strengthening exercises. So while you're grabbing a drink, while you're catching your breath here, I'll explain what we're going to go through. So I have 4 exercises, 4 strengthening exercises we're going to go through. We're going to do 2 of those at a time in sort of a circuit. So we're going to do 2 of them back to back. We're going to do 3 total sets of those. So make more sense once we get into it. So I'll show you the exercise at the very beginning. I'll show you some different variations, how to make it easier, harder. And then we're going to do 3 sets of 30 seconds for each one of those exercises. It's up to you to pick which variation of the exercise is the right difficulty level for you, okay? And I'll explain how to figure that out in a second here. So first exercise that we're going to do is, it's like a step down, I would call it. So it's almost like you're going to pretend like you're reaching out and going, stepping down a stair. So what you're going to be doing is putting one heel out in front, trying to tap it on the floor. And the working leg is this back leg. So you can see that as I reach out and try to tap that, I'm going to be using this quad to then push myself back up. So reaching out and tapping just like you're going down a step. So we're going to do 30 seconds on one leg, and then we're going to flip. And we're going to do 30 seconds on this other leg here. So reaching that heel out in front, tapping the floor. And I promise you that quad in the front of your leg is going to start burning by the end of that 30 seconds here. So a couple of ways that we can make this easier or harder. One thing, if you need some support, use a chair, right? So you can grab onto that chair, have it next to you so you don't fall over. If you don't need the chair, get rid of the chair, and you can just do it with balance, freestanding. And then the way that you can make this easier or harder anyway, whether you have the chair or not, is how low you go. So the lower you try to go, the harder this is going to be. The shallower you go, the easier it's going to be, right? And another thing you can think about is how far you reach that foot out in front of you. The further you try to reach it, the lower you're going to go, the harder it's going to be. If you just reach out a little bit, it's going to be a little bit easier. So those are the ways that you can adapt this. Let's go ahead and try out a set here for 30 seconds. And then after this first set, you'll really know, like, okay, I think I can go deeper, or maybe I need to go more shallow. So we'll go for 30 seconds. Should have a good burn in that muscle by the time we get to the end. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and here we go. I'm going to start by working my right leg. I'll show you what it looks like from the side here. And I'm going to keep these nice and slow and under control, not too fast. Reach that heel out in front. Come back up to that standing position and just pretend like you're going down steps here. And we got 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. And I'm telling you, that's already burning in that quad. So we're going to go ahead and flip sides. We're going to do 30 seconds on the other side here. So 3, 2, 1, and here we go. So this time I'm reaching that other foot out in front of me. Trying to keep my back foot flat on the floor. And again, nice, slow, and controlled as we reach that heel out in front of us. And then bring yourself back up to that standing position. Good. We got 3, 2, 1, and time. Good. So if that was burning and starting to get hard by the end of 30 seconds, congratulations, you got it down. If it was too easy, what I want you to do is think about getting deeper and reaching that foot further out in front of you for our next set, okay? We're going to take a break on that one for now. And we're going to go to a bent over lateral raise. So if you have dumbbells or you've got a couple cans of soup, that's what I'm going to use here today. What we're going to be doing, starting in a standing position, and you're going to get bent over to where your torso is at about a 30 to 45 degree angle, somewhere in there. And you're going to be lifting these cans of soup or dumbbells off to your sides. And so like you're making a big T with your arms here, and then coming back down to the center, up into that T, and repeat. So you can do this standing like I am right now, where I have my back nice and flat, my knees with a little bit of bend. Or another way that you can do this is you can actually sit down. If that's a little bit stressful on your back or your legs are tired from the last exercise, you can sit down in the chair, get in the same position where I have my torso at 30 to 45 degrees, and then lift those weights off to the side, all right? And the thing that we're really trying to do here is pull your shoulder blades back, pinch your shoulder blades together, and then get those hands out to your sides. All right. So we're gonna go for 30 seconds here. So let's try this out. I'm gonna go seated first so you can see what this looks like. This is probably the easiest way to do this because it doesn't strain your back. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Going for 30 seconds. And I want these nice and slow. Again, you're controlling the weight on the way down. You're not just let gravity, don't let gravity pull them down. Good control. Slight hold at the top once you get to that T. Think about pulling your shoulder blades together and sticking that chest out once you get those arms out to your sides. And we are down to 3, 2, 1, and time. Good. All right, so if you need to make this one easier or harder, I'd encourage you to grab either a heavier weight if you can, maybe go from a can of soup to a gallon of water. If you can somehow hold on to 2 cans of soup, I can kind of fit 2 cans in my hand. You can do it that way. Another alternative is grab a bag, and you can actually take a couple cans of soup, put them in the bag, and then hold on to the bag handle. So those are a couple ways that you can make this harder if you have to. All right. Because what we want is these exercises to be challenging in the muscles that we're trying to work at the end of that 30 seconds. So we're going to go back to our step downs here. So reaching that heel out in front. So let's start with the leg that we started with last time. That was my right leg. And we're going to go 30 seconds. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and here we go. So I'm going to reach my left heel out in front. And remember, if these were easy for you the first time, see if you can reach the heel further out in front and get lower with your, basically your squat that you're doing on your back leg. We've got 10 seconds left here. Down to 3, 2, 1, and that is time. Woo! That burns the quad. Oh boy. All right, let's go ahead and flip. We're gonna go to the other side. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Reach out in front. Back to that standing position. Again, nice and slow here. Control your weight on the way down. Another way that you can make this a little bit easier on your knee is actually lean your torso forward a little bit. So if I'm up here, it's gonna be a little bit tougher on my knee. If I lean forward, it'll make things a little bit easier on that knee. Just something to keep in mind that you can tweak as you're doing these. Down to 3, 2, 1, and that is time. Good. Whew, man, those are underrated exercise. Those burn. All right, so we're gonna go back to our bent over lateral raises. So I'm gonna stick with the chair. Actually, I'll show you without the chair because I did that last time. So go ahead and grab your weights. And for me, by the time I got to 30 seconds, it was starting to burn in the back of my shoulder here. So I'm thinking I'm gonna stick with the weights that I've got. They were challenging enough for me. So ready? 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Again, I'm gonna hinge at my hips, getting this bent over position. Raising those arms to my side, making a big T with the arms. Pulling my shoulder blades together and pushing my chest out. Good. Almost there. Keep those reps nice and slow, under control. 3, 2, 1, and time. Good. All right. Let's take a quick moment for a drink here. And we're going to rip through both of those exercises one more time. Okay. Let's get back to it. Let's keep things rolling here. So we're going to go back to our step downs. So let's go 30 seconds here. This is the last 30 seconds for each leg. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Start with that right leg for me. Give you the side view here. I hang on to my timer so we don't go over on time. Just think about stepping down each of those stairs. Good. Starting to burn. Going 3 seconds left. 2, 1, and time. Good. Woo. Starting to sweat a little bit here too. So let's flip over. Going to switch to that other leg. Same thing here, last 30 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Reach the heel out, nice, slow, under control. This is a great exercise for working on the strength of that knee and your quad muscles. Perfect for getting up and down out of chairs, going down steps, going up steps. It's a very functional movement here that it's good to increase the strength within. 3, 2, 1, and that is time. Good. Woo, okay. Let's go right into lateral raises. This is our last set of these, and then we're going to move on to a couple of different exercises. All right, ready? We're going to start. Grab your weights in 3, 2, 1, and here we go. So I got my torso at about 30, 45 degrees. Lifting those weights up to my sides here, making a big T. Pulling my shoulder blades together, pushing my chest out at the top. This is a good exercise for the muscles in your back and the back of your shoulder. Got 3, 2, 1, and time. Good. It's amazing how hard those can be with a really light weight. Wow. Okay. So those 2 exercises are done. We can scratch those off of our list. Let's go ahead and grab a drink of water. Take a little break. And our next couple of exercises are going to be a push-up and a hip thrust. So we've kind of focused on our quads so far with our step downs. We focused on the back muscles with our lateral raise. We're going to focus on some of the upper body muscles in the front by doing a push-up. So we'll work on our triceps, front of the shoulder, and then as well as our chest. So we're going to be hitting push-ups, and then we're going to be doing hip thrusts, which is going to focus on your glutes, your butt, and your hamstring. So we'll kind of shift the focus of the muscles that we're working on here at these next movements. So for the push-up, show you a few different variations that you can try out. We're going to do the same thing where we go for 30 seconds. So I want you to pick a variation of the push-up that challenges you if you have to do it for 30 seconds long. So first variation is doing it on an incline. So you can lean onto a chair, lean onto a couch. You can even lean onto the wall. That's probably going to be the easiest variation, leaning onto a wall. This is going to be a little bit harder here. You can also go all the way to the floor, go from your knees, or you can go from your toes, right? So a bunch of different variations there for you to try out. So pick one right now that feels comfortable, and we're going to roll with it for 30 seconds and see how you do it. You can switch it up based on how your performance is during that 30 seconds or how difficult it is. I'm going to start on an incline here with the chair. All right, we're going to go for 30 seconds. 3, 2, 1, here we go. I encourage you, try to pick a variation where you can get your chest all the way down to either the floor, chair, or wall, whatever you're pressing away from. We want to get a good full range of motion here. I mean, if you can only do a quarter push-up, that's okay too, but pick a variation where you can get a little bit lower with it. It's a little bit more beneficial if we can get through a good full range of motion. We got 3, 2, 1, and time. Good. Ooh, beautiful. All right, next exercise that we're going to pair with this one is a hip thrust. So what we're going to be doing with this one is getting on the floor here. And then from this position, with my knees at about 90 degrees, so I have my feet coming back to my butt where my knees at 90. And then from here, I'm going to drive through my heels and extend my hips into the air. So I have a straight line from my knee to my shoulder. And then I'm really going to focus on squeezing my butt and my hamstrings. And then I'm going to come back down and then drive back up. So we're really trying to push those hips towards the ceiling here and squeeze our butt. All right, so we're going to do that for 30 seconds. Couple ways you can make this harder. One, you can take a weight and throw it on your hips. So if you have a little bit of weight there, it's going to make this a little bit tougher. Second way that you can make this a little bit more challenging is to do one leg at a time. So to actually just push through one heel while the other leg's up in the air, and then you can go ahead and switch when that one gets tired. It's going to look something like this. So try one of those variations out. We're going to go for 30 seconds here. I'm going to go just on the floor with no weight first. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Good, so push through the heels, drive those hips to the ceiling, squeeze your butt and your hamstrings at the top. I encourage you to hold that position for just a second once you get there. Good, and we got about 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, and time. Woo! Good work. That one burns in the butt. Okay, we're gonna go back to our push-ups. So again, a couple different variations. Incline, on the floor, but on your knees. A little bit harder than the incline. And then onto your toes for the hardest variation. So if you need to make it harder, pick a harder variation. If you need to make it easier from where you were last time, go to an easier variation. All right, we're going 3, 2, 1. Here we go, 30 seconds. Make sure if you are pushing off of a chair that it's not going to roll away from you or slide on your floor. Try to keep a nice straight body from your shoulder all the way to your ankles. You don't want your hips to start sagging towards the floor. Keep your abs tight here. 3, 2, 1, and time. Good. Whew, starting to burn. Perfect. I'm going to grab a quick drink here. We're going to go back to our hip thrusts. So for this next set, I'm going to add a little bit of extra resistance by putting this water jug on my hips. This will make it a little bit harder. Okay. So go ahead and get into position here. So we are going to start in 3, 2, 1, and go. Again, think about driving through those heels, Drive those hips to the ceiling. Squeeze your butt and your hamstrings at the top. This one should really start to burn in your butt by the end. Maybe you might feel it a little bit more in your hamstrings. That's okay. Somewhere in the back of those legs, though, you should be feeling it. We got 3, 2, 1, and time. Good. Woo, that one burning. Okay. All right, we got 2 sets down. We got 1 more left to do here. And then we've made it through all the hard work. We're going to end with a little bit of a light cool down and general movement here once we finish these last 2 sets up. Grab a sip of water if you need it. All right, so we're going to go to push-ups. I'm going to challenge myself on this last one. I'm going to do a full push-up right on the floor. Also important to say, I should have said this earlier on, if you can't make it the full 30 seconds, that's okay. You can take a break, rest, and then try to pump out a few more reps if our time isn't up. All right, so we're going to get started here in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Nice, slow, under control. Ease yourself down. And then nice, forceful contraction of those muscles as you push the floor or the chair away from you. Good job. We're almost there. Keep those abs tight. 3, 2, 1, and time. Good. All right, we're done with push-ups. Woo! And I think for me, with these hip thrusts and a little bit of weight with the water jug, that was pretty challenging for me by the time we got to 30 seconds, so I'm going to stick with that. But if you need to make it harder, you can go ahead and do one leg and maybe do 15 seconds on one leg and then 15 seconds on the other leg. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. So drive through those heels. Push your hips to the ceiling. Squeeze your butt and your hamstrings at the top. Make sure that you're getting that butt off the floor. Get a good squeeze at the top. Knees should be at about 90 degrees. 3, 2, 1, and time. Good. Woo. All right. That is all the hard work done. So go ahead and let's take a moment to grab a sip of water here. Get my weights out of the way. And I've got a good sweat going too. Heart rate's up a little bit. I'll just show you guys. I'm sweating a little bit. So strength training, it gets your heart rate up too. It's not just about strengthening the muscles, the bones, and the ligaments. You get a little bit of aerobic work in as well. So let's go ahead and go into a little bit of a cool down here. I'm going to just do a little march in place. We'll kind of get all those muscles moving, and maybe you've got a little bit of lactic acid built up in some of those muscles. Maybe your muscles feel a little pumped up. We'll get some blood flowing through there, help the recovery a little bit. So I'm just marching and swinging those arms here too. Good, and I'm going to go side step and arm swing. Swing out those arms. I don't know about you guys, but my arms got a little bit tired, especially on that last set of push-ups there. That was challenging. Ooh, so good. Full body strengthening workout there with only 4 exercises, but most of our exercise, or the exercises we picked there, worked most of the major muscle groups. and some big movements that we use throughout the day. So great workout. Good. All right, I'm going to go into a little quad stretch here. Again, I'm just going to grab onto that ankle, reach for the sky. If you feel like you need a little bit longer stretch at the end of the workout here on each side, you can do that too. Whew. Take some nice deep breaths here. And I feel ready to take on the rest of the day now. Good. Let's go into a little bit of a hamstring / back stretch here. So you can reach down, try to keep just a little bit of bend in your knees. We'll stretch the hamstrings out. And then I like to, at the very end too, just kind of let my back round out and get sort of a stretch through my lower back here too. So really just kind of hanging down, stretching the hamstring, stretching the back. And then maybe you can even come up and just kind of roll the back into that standing position. And then you can do the same thing going down, let your back kind of round, then push your hips back, go for the toes, get to a spot where it's comfortable to hang. And then you can roll back up. Feels real good on the back there. And let's go through that a couple more times. Roll that back down. And just stay within a range of motion that feels good for you. If you can't get all the way down, that's okay. Good. And then last one here, let's kind of open that chest up a little bit. And I'm going to start with my thumbs pointed together. Get closer to the camera here so you can see. And then I'm going to rotate my thumbs back and point them behind me and really push my chest out, pull my shoulder blades together. It should give us a stretch through the chest and a little bit through your biceps. So thumbs together, thumbs pointed behind you, and then coming thumbs together, thumbs behind. And we'll just kind of keep repeating that. And you can try to get further back every time that you go. Thumbs together, thumbs pointing behind. Perfect. And let's get two more here. Really try to open up the chest. Last one. Open up the chest. Beautiful. And then the last stretch we're going to go through today, I just like to get some twists in here. So we're going to rotate that trunk. So take your chest from one side of the room to the other. You can bring those arms with you. Or you can have those hands out in front of you like so, whatever feels comfortable, but just trying to get some rotation in our spine here. Think about trying to look behind you in the room without moving your hips. Good. Let's go for a couple more. Really try to flip all the way around here. Rotate as much as possible. Last one. Ooh, good. And I think my heart rate's back down here. I'm feeling pretty good. So I want to thank you all for joining us for the workout this morning. Hope that you enjoyed it. A little bit of strength training. I know on a Saturday, I don't think we've had strength for a while, so I felt like that was my role here. Really exciting news next Saturday for our surprise workout. I'm rooting the surprise. We're going to have a guest instructor who's going to be doing a Tai Chi workout. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think Tai Chi on a Saturday morning sounds like a great exercise to start off the weekend. And then the following Saturday, I should probably get dates for these too, if in case you're watching this and you're not live here. So that'll be next Saturday, October 16th. We're going to have Tai Chi. And then the following Saturday, October 23rd, we're actually going to be having a Zumba class. So that's going to be pretty cool. So looking forward to some different workouts coming up on Saturdays here, but hope you guys all have a fantastic rest of your weekend here, and we'll see you next time.